All right, folks, so you should see my screen now. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I am in our test account here in DYL. When you log into DYL, you will go to dyl.com, which is our main website, of course. And when you end up on our main website, you can go to the upper right-hand corner and click on this login button. This will take you to our login page where you'll put in your email address and your password to log in. And when you log in, you end up here on the leads page. So the leads page, this is where your real-time internet leads will filter into when they start coming into the system. You'll be able to filter by time frame, whether or not the leads are assigned to you or if they're on your hot list, the lead type, lead source, and disposition. So that's just a very brief overview of the leads page. We do go over that in more detail. The lead management webinar, you can sign up for that. We will be having them tomorrow on Wednesday and also on Thursday as well. So to access the admin settings, you can click here on the settings link and you will see this page right here. If you are not the admin on the account, you may see a different type of settings page. So I'll just show you that for comparison. If you are not an admin, you may see a page that looks similar to this. This will be just simply your user account settings. You'll be able to change your login, your username, your inbound line, your caller ID, hold music, and your chat sounds. You may also see your ring group status, and then you can also adjust the real web page monitor, appointment settings, and change your password and email signature preferences. So again, if you are not an admin, you will see this page when you go to the settings, when you go and click on settings. However, you can gain access to the admin settings by your admin giving you that permission, and I'll show you how to do that in the user account settings. First things first, when you first land on this settings page, if you are an admin or if you have the settings privileges, you'll see these admin settings at the top of the screen right here. You'll first see a lead email. This is the email address that you're going to provide to your lead vendor so that they can send leads into DYL. You can also generate additional lead emails if you want to keep your lead sources separate by going into the Manage Lead Sources link underneath the Account section in the settings. So when you click on Manage Lead Sources, you see here that we have additional lead source emails going to EverQuote, Quote Wizard, so on and so forth. Excuse me a moment. Here we go. All right, so we're back in the test account. Our apologies. So yes, this is your lead email. When you go into Manage Lead Sources, you will see additional emails listed here for additional vendors, much like how you saw on the screen that we were on previously. To create a new lead source, you'll go here to Add Lead Source. You'll give the source a name. If you want to put in the cost of the lead, you can. And then if you want the system to generate the instant call, you'll toggle this no. And then if you want to assign these leads to direct user, you'll select yes or no. Once you've added your, once you filled out the select. There we go. So we're back on the leads, Manage Lead Sources page. So yes, like I said, you can generate additional emails, and you can have your vendors send those leads to those emails. Going back into the settings, this is where you will adjust the admin line. So for the admin, this is where you'll adjust your inbound line, basically where you will receive phone calls when they come in. If you click on this edit button right here, you'll be able to choose a phone extension. If you are a DYL phone system customer, you'll choose your extension from here. You can also choose your hold music. You can use one of the two default musics, default hold music. If you also have some music uploaded, your own personal hold music, you can use that there, and you'll upload that hold music in the hold section right here. You'll also choose the line options. If this is going to be a shared line, meaning it's shared between you and another phone, you'll click this option right here. If you never want this line to ring, you'll click this option. Here's where you'll set up your caller ID. So this is what this is the number that's going to display whenever you make any outbound calls. Chat sounds. If you want your chat sounds to be on or off, you'll select this as well. And then finally, your inbound line to be a phone number. Let's say you're out of the office, or you're not a phone system customer with DYL. You'll put in a phone number here to be your admin line, and this is where the system will look for you for using the campaign dialer or when real-time leads come in. So once you've made your choices here, either extension, admin line, you've set up your caller ID, you've set your hold music, you'll go ahead and press the save button and your choices will be saved right here. You'll see this green notification towards the corner, admin settings updated. To set up your the inbound lines for your users, the caller IDs, and the hold music, you're going to go into the user account section right here. When you click on user accounts, you'll see a list of your users if you have any set up already. If you need to add an additional user, you'll go here to this add new user link. You'll put in the name, their first and last name, email address. This email address will be what they will use to log into DYL. You'll create a password for them, and then you will confirm that password, and then you will set up their inbound line. So if you are a phone system customer with DYL, you'll choose an extension for them, or you will choose put in a phone number for them to use as their inbound line. If they have an extension at that phone number, you'll put in that extension for that inbound line as well in this space. And then if this is going to be a shared line, you'll select this option, and if you never want this line to ring, you'll select this option. Once you have filled this out, you'll select Add User, and that user will be listed amongst the rest of your users here. If you want to update the details of an existing user, you'll select Update Details, and you'll go in here. If you want to update the inbound line, caller ID, and the login once again, you'll select Update User, and you'll make your changes. This is where you will also enable Listen, Whisper, and Barge. By default, admin has the ability to listen in on phone calls, and you can also whisper to the two parties on the phone call. You can also barge in on the phone call and be talking to the entire, talking to everybody that's involved in the phone call. So you do have to give your users this permission to do so. You'll check the box, and they will also be able to listen, whisper, and barge. And to access the listen, whisper, and barge, when you are in the View tab, there's this little ear right here. If you click on this ear, you will be listening into the phone call that is happening on this extension. And then once you've made your changes, of course, you'll select Update. Down here, you will give your users certain permissions. So as I mentioned at the beginning, if you have to give your users settings access to be able to access these admin settings. So to edit these permissions, you'll click on this link, and you'll check the boxes of the permissions that you want to give them: settings access, reports access, billing access, assign leads, the ability to manage campaigns, and the ability to manage other users' hot list. By default, they have global voicemail access, but you can turn this on or off as you see fit. And then once you've made your selections, you'll select Update. You'll also adjust the user's appointment settings. So if you want them to be able to have the appointments call their phones while they're paused from receiving real, you can toggle this on and off by selecting Edit and checking or unchecking the box. You can also change their password and update their email signature preferences, much like how they can when they go into their settings. And then you can also set up their default SMS chat number. By default, whatever you have set up as the chat number, the SMS chat number, and the phone number settings will be the default. However, if you have multiple offices running under one account and each office has their own separate phone number, then the users could come in and set their default SMS number to whatever office that they're in. So this doesn't have to be the main account number. It could be whatever office that they're in if you are an account that has multiple phone numbers. Okay. Going back to the additional user settings, you can also pause and unpause your users from here. So if you are on this page and you notice that a user that is supposed to be active and working real leads is in fact paused, you can just simply hit unpause and they will become active. If you notice that a user is active and they should be paused, you can hit pause and they will become paused. Finally, you'll select this little trash can symbol right here, and they will no longer be able to log into their DYL account since they are no longer a user. Below that, you can update the lead routing. So when your real-time internet leads come in, you can dictate the call order in which they come in. By default, it comes in as a round robin, so it means it's going to ring one at a time until it reaches the end of the sequence. If somebody answers in between there, then it will start at the next person in the sequence and keep going until it reaches the end of the sequence. To edit your lead routing, you'll select Edit Lead Routing, and you can choose other call orders. So by user number, admin line first, and by user number, admin line last. If you choose one of these two options, you will be able to adjust the user number order. So you can move your users up and down if you want certain users to get the calls first, or if you want certain users to get the calls last. set up your lead routing to go into the lead distribution group. You'll set up your lead distribution group in the ring group settings. And basically, it's a collection of extensions that will receive the calls for the real-time internet leads. So you'll have that as well. And then you can give users access to all leads, or you can only give them give them access to the leads that are assigned to them and those leads only. So by default, it is usually set up to only leads assigned to them. So that means when your users log into DYL, again, they'll only be able to see the leads that they're assigned to. If you give them access to all leads, they will see all leads whether or not they're assigned to them, whether they're unassigned. If they're assigned to somebody else, they'll still be able to see those leads. Once you've made your choices, of course, you'll select Update, and you'll see the green message right here indicating that it was a successful update. You can also reassign your leads. Keep in mind, reassigning the leads down here is going to do a mass reassign of the leads. So it's going to reassign all of the leads from one user to another user. If you're only seeking to reassign a few leads from one user to another, you will have to go in and do so manually by accessing leads. So let's say, for instance, we're in this leads page right here. If I wanted to reassign a few leads, I'd have to go into each individual lead and reassign those leads to another user or render them unassigned. But here, you will reassign all of the user's leads from one person to another. So if I wanted to assign these unassigned leads to another user, I'll choose that user from the list right here, and then I'll select Reassign. Okay. The next section we'll go over is going to be contact information. This is where you, the admin, will update your contact information. You'll click on this Edit Information link, and you can adjust your name, your email address, your phone number that's associated with your account, and you can also put in your physical address. Once you're logged into DYL, update your password. To update we'll need your current password to generate a new password and confirm that new password. And appointments to call your phone while you're paused, you can edit this, select yes or no. DNC filter settings. So DYL is able to filter for anybody that's on the do not call list. If you upload a campaign list, you are able to search that list for those names that are on the do not call registry. To access that ability, you will need an organization or a group ID with the national do not call list, and then you'll put in whatever codes that you want covered to search for any do not call leads. So whatever area codes that you're calling into the most, and you want to search for any of your leads that are on your spreadsheets, they're on the do not call list, you'll put those area codes in here. And then once you go in, you'll be able to go into your campaigns, and there will be an additional action over on the side for you to filter for do not call leads. A lesser known feature is the Google Analytics call tracking. If you have a tracking ID with Google Analytics, you could put that in here, and you can track your DYL calls through Google Analytics. Finally, forward voicemail, fax, and SMS notifications. By default, the main user, which is the admin, they will receive emails indicating when they have a voicemail left in their company mailboxes and whenever it comes into DYL. You can adjust the recipients of these emails by selecting Edit Additional Email. When you click on that link, you can add the admin's email back here and then add additional users. Multiple emails can be separated by commas. So whoever is listed here, whoever has their email listed here, they will receive the notification for all company voicemails, no matter what voicemail box they come into, and they will receive the notifications for all inbound faxes, no matter what they come to. Now, if you are an office, if you are an account that offices under one account, and each office has their own fax number, you can set up individual email delivery for those numbers in the phone number settings in DYL. So you'll go into the phone numbers, and you can adjust the email delivery by selecting emails here. And then you can also adjust the individual voicemail box email notifications by going into settings and extensions. And you'll be able to adjust that right here, email delivery, and put in the email addresses that you want to receive the notifications for that particular mailbox. Now, the phone system settings, just as a disclaimer, we do go over these in more details. We have a separate phone system webinar, VoIP phone settings. So if you have not signed up for that, you are able to go ahead and sign up for that. We will go over this section here. And also SMS messages, you can put your email. If you do not acknowledge message, email will go out to you letting you know that there is a text message waiting. So let's say that a customer, first time you have not previously texted them, The admin will receive the that text message, and email will go out to whoever's listed here, letting know that there's a text message waiting for them. Next is the section called Customized Dispositions. So if you've taken our lead webinar before, you know dispositions are lead statuses. You can customize those dispositions. DYL does have some default dispositions within it, but you can customize your own and add your own dispositions. To add a new disposition, you go to Add Disposition, you'll give that name, and then you'll give it a status. Is it a good status? Is it a bad status? Or is it a neutral status? You'll also choose what to do with any callbacks that are scheduled for that lead once you select that particular disposition. You can either remove the callback and it will not happen, or you can ignore the callback and it will happen as scheduled. Then you can also choose customer status, meaning that if I choose this particular disposition, will this make the lead a customer? Will it make them a canceled customer? So you can choose the customer status: new sale, current customer, or canceled customer. New sale and current customer will give that lead customer status. They will be sorted into your customers folder. So going to the folders real quick, anybody that you label with one of those dispositions, they'll go into your customers folder. And this is where you'll know these are the people that are currently actively buying policies from you at this moment. Okay. And then you could choose to show this disposition either on the page itself or within the pop-up list. Once you've made your choices, you'll select Add Disposition, and the disposition will be listed here, and you'll be able to edit it, delete it as you see fit. If you want to edit a disposition, of course, you'll select this option, Edit Dispositions, and you can change the status, the callback, what to do with the callback, the customer status, and where this disposition is going to show up on the page here. You can also change the name of the dispositions as well. The only dispositions that you cannot adjust are none and do not call. Those are permanent. They have to be there. The only thing you can adjust for them is whether or not they show up on the page or in the pop-up list. Okay. Manage lead sources, we did go over that. Finally, manage chat rooms. So the DYL chat functions over here on the side. It is currently down, so if you're experiencing any issues with that, we are working on fixing those issues. However, once it's up and running, you will have your put in a status, whether you're online, busy, or away, or you can even put in a custom status and save that. And then you'll have your chat rooms listed here. And then you'll have your team members listed below that. If you have your office organized by department, those team members will be organized by office location if you're organizing your office by office location. And then the X in there indicates that they are not available. And if it's a solid chat bubble, that means that they're online. Okay, so if you go into the Manage Chat Rooms section, this is where you'll be able to create additional chat rooms. By default, you have one chat room, and then you can create additional ones, edit the name of them, and then you can assign your users to those chat rooms. So if you want to have a chat room for your billing department, your customer service department, sales department, you can create those individual chat rooms and then assign those users to those chat rooms. Okay. All right, so that's it for the account settings. The next thing we're going to go over is going to be this lead dialing section right here. The first link in the lead dialing section is going to be your schedule. This is where you're going to configure when your leads should be dialed. So when you configure your schedule in this top portion right here, you'll basically set your open hours. So if this were a real office, they're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., you're open, your phones are going to ring into your office. Your leads are going to come in, and they are going to ring your phones between that time. After 5, your office is going to close. And when your office is closed, you'll have to set up an after-hours routing for your phone calls. You'll go into Settings and Phone Numbers, and then you'll adjust the after-hours routing. So you can have your calls continue to route into the office. You can go to your voicemail box. You can route them to a forwarding number afterwards. Your leads, any leads that come in after hours, will be sent to one of these call queues right here. And they'll be available for you when you return to the office in the morning. Now, I do see here this account has a dialer time zone schedule turned on. This is a feature that we have to turn on our end for you. So if that was something that you would like, where you want to dial leads that are coming in from certain time zones between a certain time, you can do that as well. Again, this is something that we have to activate for you on our end. It's not something that comes standard within these schedule settings. It has to be turned on by us, so you can always give our help desk a call so we can turn that on for you. And then you'll set your time zone. So your local time zone, wherever you are in the country, you'll set the time zone for that. If you're in the East Coast, you'll be Eastern time zone, Mountain, Central, Pacific. And then you can set a default time zone for your appointment. So basically, when you set an appointment, it will default to either your time zone or the lead's time zone. And whenever you schedule an appointment, it's time for the call to happen. If you choose to have the appointment call your line, it will call at the time that you indicate, but it will be based on whatever time zone you that's default. The next section is going to be your automatic callbacks. So you can set up callback attempts for your leads. The automatic callbacks will happen in the event that when you pick up a real-time lead call, if you leave a call result, if you leave a call result such as a voicemail, that no answer, the system will generate an automatic callback. So that first call comes in, it's an instant call. The second call is going to come in, it's going to happen 30 minutes after this first call. If you don't get them there, then it will come in 120 minutes after this next call, and it will keep going down the sequence. We give you up to 8 chances to attempt to reach this lead once again. You can edit your call attempts by selecting Edit Call Attempts, and you'll check or uncheck the boxes that you want to use, and you'll adjust the times and the days, how far out you want to reach these leads. You can also retry missed calls by agent. So any calls that an agent missed, you can attempt to retry those. If you select Edit Retry Attempts, you can select the number of retries and then how you'll choose a delay in which to make those calls. So the call you can have it back 5 minutes later or 4 minutes later. And then you have your call queues. So anything that appears on the call now list, any appointments that you want to clear out, any callbacks that are scheduled, any uncalled leads, you can clear all of these queues by going to Clear Queues. You'll choose the queues that you want to clear. You can also choose to clear leads received before a specific date. When you check the lead count, it will tell you how many there are, how many will be removed, and how many will remain. And then you'll select Clear Queue. Okay. The next section is going to be, let me just make sure I went over everything there. Yes. The next section is going to be the voicemail drop setup. So one of the nice features about DYL is that you are able to leave a pre-recorded outbound voicemail message. This is especially helpful when you're in the campaign dialer. You're going to be running into people's voicemails quite a bit, and you may not. So with the voicemail drop setup, you record a voicemail. It could be something simple like, hi, this is so-and-so from this agency. You requested a quote from us. We're just reaching out to you so that you can, so that we can set that up for you. Please give us a call back at our number. And so you can go in and record it. To record that message, you'll dial this 888 number. Or if you're a phone system customer, you can dial extension 510 from your phone. And then you'll enter in your account's 7-digit PIN number. Once you're in the system, you'll press star to add a brand new message. If you have messages that are already in the system and you want to edit those, you'll select the number, you'll dial the number of the message and the pound button to edit that message. And then the edit message menu is as follows: 1 to listen to the current message, and 2 to record the message, a new one, and 3 to go back to the main menu. So once you have the message recorded, you can come in here and edit the name of it. You can set it as your default message, or you can assign that message to yourself. And when you're on a phone call, when you're making an outbound call, you'll see at the top of the screen during a phone call, there will be a hang-up button, and then there will be a voicemail button. If you click on that voicemail button when you reach somebody's voicemail, I definitely recommend that you wait until after the beep to press the button. But when you do get to the beep, you'll press that button, you'll hear the system say voicemail saved, and the voicemail has been left, and you can hang up the call. If you're in the campaign dialer, you can you can hit the refresh button, and it will move on to the next lead on the list. With the voicemail drop messages, you will have to reset it every single time if you need to leave another voicemail for that particular lead. For example, let's go to the sample lead right here. You'll see right here it'll say voicemail left, no. So let's assume that I called this lead, I got a hold of their voicemail, I hit the voicemail button. When I refresh the page, this is going to say voicemail left, yes, and then there will be this reset button. I recommend that you immediately go in and reset it so that if I have to call this lead back and I get their voicemail once again, I can just simply hit the voicemail button without having to reset it right then and there. If you don't reset it, it will not be saved. Next is state caller IDs. You can set the caller ID for dialing within certain states. So we do recommend that whatever number you put in here is a number that you own. It could be a number that comes from us. It could be a number that you have on your own. So what you'll do is you'll select Add Caller ID Override. You'll choose the state that this override is going to be for, and then you'll put in the phone number. When you put in that phone number, you'll select Add Override, and that override will be added to the list. And so then when you do a click to dial, and that lead has one of the states that you have set up as an override listed in their contact information, the number that is set up as the caller ID override will show up instead of your normal caller ID. So again, for instance, with this sample lead is located in Ohio. If I have Ohio listed in my caller ID overrides, when I call this lead, that Ohio phone number is going to show up instead of my normal caller ID. If the lead does not have a state listed in their contact information, like for instance, okay, he does. I think I edited that. Okay, so for instance, this lead does not have a state listed. So therefore, when I call this lead, my regular caller ID is going to show up. So it goes by whatever you have in the state field. It doesn't matter what area code their phone number is, it's going by whatever is in the state field. And then finally, you can create contact forms, HTML forms for your websites if you have any websites. You'll go here to create contact form. You'll select create form. You'll include the fields that you want to add. You'll create a thank you message, and then you'll choose your color scheme. You'll see a preview of the form here, and then you're able to save it. You can take the HTML code and paste it into your website, and then whenever anybody visits your website, they can fill out the contact form, and that information will come into DYL. All right, I do want to see over the billing section right here. If you are an older DYL customer and you're looking at this new skin for the first time, you will know that the billing had its own separate tab up here at the top. Now your billing is going to be available underneath the settings. It's still the same. When you go into billing, you'll still be able to view your monthly service details. If you're a phone system customer of ours, you'll be able to fund your account, add your funding sources, edit any existing funding sources. You can also view any payment and transaction histories, and you can also order products from here as well. You'll see your account summary of last funding transaction and everything right here. So it is still the same as it was. It's just that now, instead of it having its own separate tab towards the top, it will be available down here in the settings. Okay. The next section we're going over is email management. This is where you will create your email templates, your email drip sequences. Within the email library, you'll set up your templates. To create a template, you'll select this Add Email link, and you'll give the email a name. You'll select Create, and that email will be created. Once you've given it a name, you can go in and edit the email itself by clicking on the name of the email. So again, I'm clicking on the name of the email, and now we see here that this template is empty. There's nothing here. You'll select Edit Template, and you can choose a category to categorize these emails in. If you want to create a brand new category, you'll select Add New Category and give that category a name. And then you'll also choose your layout. Follow-up Basic will allow you to attach a picture to this email. So you can put in a picture that will be embedded into the email right here. The other templates will not have those capabilities. So if you just want to do a basic email, you'll choose Basic Email. You see there is no space for a picture. You'll put in your subject line, and then you'll fill out the body of the email right here. Once you've made your changes, you'll select Update. Here, when templates. So you go into the leads and contact page, and once again, if you use slow internet, so your lead, as long as they have an address, you'll be able to send them an email. Lead has, you'll go up here to the top now, and you'll select email. This page is, and then you could choose your template from this list. Whatever you have set up as your default email will be the first email that pops up, but again, you could choose another template from the list right here, and you'll send off that email. Email follow-up, this is where you will set up email sequences. Email sequences are basically a series of emails that you can schedule to be sent out to your leads or your customers. You'll go on email follow-up. You see here we have quite a few sequences listed. to create a new sequence, you'll go to create new sequence, and you'll give the sequence a name. Once you've given the sequence a name, you'll see a positive message right here if you're not repeating names or anything like that. So you'll click on the name of the sequence once again. If you need to get back to the email library, you are able to do so by clicking on email library. But you'll click on the name of the sequence. Again, if you need to get back to the email library just to make sure you're adding the right emails, take a look at them before you add them. That's available there. If you want to edit the sequence name, you'll select Edit Sequence Name, and you can change the name of the sequence. But to add your first message, you're going to click on this Add Message link. You'll choose a template. And the time frame by default for the first message is going to be sequence start. So whenever you set a lead up on a sequence, the sequence start is going to basically send the email out 5 minutes after you set them up on the sequence. There's a 5-minute delay before that email goes out. So once you've chosen the template that you're going to set as the first message in the sequence, you'll go to Add Message. Now that you've added your first message, you'll see this message at the top right here. You're going to add your additional messages. To add additional messages, you're going to use the Add Message link under here underneath the commands. If you use this Add Message link, it's going to set up another message, and that one's going to go out at the exact same time. It's going to go out at the sequence start. So instead of sending 2 messages, if you want to space out the messages, you'll use this Add Message link right here. Once again, you'll choose your template, and then you'll select the time frame. You can do anywhere between 1 and 30, and then you could do weeks or months. Once you've done that, you'll select Add Message. And so now this second message is going to go out 1 month after this first message. And then you'll just keep nesting the messages into one another. So you'll go Add Message, you'll select another template, you'll select the time frame, Add Message. And then again, Add Message, select another template, choose your time frame, and then add the message. And then to set up a lead on a sequence, again, you'll go into their contact page, and now we have a follow-up section right here, and this is where you will set the email drip. You'll choose the drip from the list. Let me refresh to reflect the new sequence that I added. Okay. You'll select that template from the list, choose it, and now they'll be set up on that sequence, and you'll see within the upcoming events section that this first message is going to go out 5 minutes after I set them up on the sequence. Email number 1. Of the sequence. Okay. So repeat sequence at a later date as well. So if you keep this lead on this particular sequence, you can repeat it later. You'll edit repeat sequence. You'll turn on, you'll check the box to repeat the sequence, and then you'll choose how far out you want that sequence to start repeating. So again, you could do either 1 on up to 30 weeks or months after the last message. We cannot send it out days later. It'll either be weeks or months. So once you've made your choice to repeat the sequence, you'll select Update Repeat. Okay. All right. Some other settings that you can play around with within the email follow-up section. The admin will be able to upload their agent photo, and the admin will also be able to set up their email signature. So when you send an email out from DYL, you can create your own signature, and when the customer or the lead receives the email, this is the signature that they'll see if you're using DYL as your email sender. Whenever you use DYL as an email sender, it is a third-party sender. So they will receive the emails, and it will say from your email address, whatever email address you use to log into DYL, via dollarmail.com. Right? So you can add an agent photo. You can set up your email signature right here. And then you can also turn on the ability to send emails. You'll set up your email link, and then you'll set up your email sender. You'll go to Edit Settings, and you'll make your choices here. You can either use the built-in email client or your system email client. System email client being something like Outlook or anything like that. And then your email sender, you can either use DYL, or you make it look like it's coming from Google, Outlook, the Outlook app, or another server. If you choose anything outside of DYL, it will ask you to authorize that decision by putting in your email information. Any changes that you make, of course, you'll select Update. And then sequences for your new leads. Basically, when a new lead comes into the system will automatically set them up on a sequence. They'll get the email, and then they'll put on that sequence until you either cancel the sequence or put them on another sequence. You can set up a default sequence for new customers. So anybody that you disposition with a disposition that will label them as a customer, they will be set up on a sequence. New auto leads, new mortgage leads, home, health, commercial, new life leads, and renters insurance leads will also be, you'll also be able to set up default sequences for them as well when they come into DYL. Right. And then finally, email forwarding. You can forward leads to additional email addresses. So when when one of your vendors sends over a lead, you can have them go to additional email addresses. Your vendor will send you an email letting you know, hey, this is the information that we sent over to DYL. You can have additional emails receive those emails also. And then if you are purchasing leads from DYL, you can choose to have those leads purchased from DYL be assigned to a particular user. So you'll select Edit Lead Assignment, and then you'll make your choices there. And then you'll select Set Lead Assignment. Okay. And then finally, if you're using DYL to send text messages, if you're utilizing our text messaging services, you will be able to adjust your text messaging templates in the text messaging chat library. You'll click on that link, and then you'll see your existing templates and have some already. To add a new SMS chat template, you'll click on this link right here. You give the message a name, and then you will type out the message. You do have 160 characters to work with. Anything over that, it will split it into 2 text messages. So you'll type out your message, and then you'll select Create. And that message will be listed here, and you can edit the message or delete it. If you want files to be associated with text messaging, available for you to choose, let's say you're sending out some forms that need to be filled out, you can add that file right here. With the text messaging, you can send JPEGs or PDF files, and do keep in mind that they cannot be any greater than 1 megabyte in size. And then you can turn on your text messaging setting. Like to send a text message to new leads, you can turn that on or off. If you are with Allstate, you will not be able to send an automatic text message to new leads because you will have to check that you have the consent of the lead or customer to send them a text message. But if you're not with Allstate, you'll be able to turn this on or off, and then you can delay the message. If you wanted to send out a message to the new lead as soon as it comes in, you'll select 0 minutes. Of course, any changes you want to make, you'll select Edit Settings, and then you can choose anywhere between 5 and 30 minutes. You can send those text messages between the hours that you set here. So if it's your open hours, you'll choose that. And then you can set up a default template for your new leads, for new customers, appointment reminders, and then specific types of leads, much like with your emails, auto leads, health leads. Changes that you make, you'll select Update, and those changes will be saved. Okay. All right, folks, so that will do it for the us. You can give us a call 4474, and you'll press the service desk. You can also email us. Our email address is service@dyl.com. You can send us an email, and then we'll reply to it from there. So once again, I thank you all for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.